Hi, I'm Marilyn Kirschner, the editor-in-chief of the Look Online, and I'd like to welcome you to the New York Fashion Industry Report. Do you need any more proof that it's not enough to simply be well-dressed or fashion-savvy in order to qualify as truly stylish? Fashion and beauty per se are only part of an equation. The manner in which one lives, decorates, eats, collects art, and entertains must also be factored in. It's an entire package. There is a continuing blurring of the lines between fashion, art, and architecture and interior design, and indeed, it's often hard to tell where one ends and where one begins. These past few weeks, this connection has seemed to be even more pronounced and more obvious. Last week, Christian Louboutin was at Barney's New York, not just to sell his $600 summer wedge sandals, but to personalize them for each customer by doodling on the wedge soles with magic marker. According to Women's Wear Daily, the artwork was his idea and a long time in the making. As he put it, "I like pop art. The red sole," which of course is his trademark, came from looking at Andy Warhol's prints. Who knew? And on the evening of Monday, May 1st, there were parties to fete the opening of two high-profile exhibits, both of which, in their own way, illustrate the connection and interaction between all aspects of design. The Metropolitan Museum of Art's Costume Institute's Anglomania, Tradition and Transgression in British Fashion, and the High Style of Dorothy Draper at the Museum of the City of New York. Well, okay, so admittedly, one is far more high profile than the other, thanks to Anna Wintour's powerful influence. And in fact, the Vogue editor-in-chief has just been named as one of New York Magazine's 246 most influential New Yorkers. She's raised about $26 million so far for the Met's Costume Institute in the last 11 years. And it looks as though what has been referred to as the party of the year may soon just be called Anna's Party. But still, 1,000 of the city's powerful and elite turned up further up Fifth Avenue to celebrate the late Dorothy Draper, including Carlton Varney and Chuck and Ann Scarborough, with famed Peter Duchin providing the atmospheric musical interlude. But getting back to the connection between fashion, home decor, and art, the Costume Institute's associate curator, Andrew Bolton, the morning of the gala at a press conference, observed that it is precisely the consistent relationship between the fabric, the rooms, and the clothes that is at the very heart of the exhibition. And the High Style of Dorothy Draper is a celebration of the life and work of the iconic and groundbreaking interior designer who died in 1969. A larger-than-life figure known for her exuberant and irreverent use of bold colors and overscaled furniture, Miss Draper was definitely not timid, nor was she for the faint of heart. In fact, a descriptive term, the Draper touch, was coined in an attempt to describe that, quote, amalgam of Baroque ornament, overscaled stripes, cabbage rose patterns, and high-voltage color that became synonymous with her. And it's also worth noting that the exhibit has the distinction of being the first retrospective of an interior designer put forth by a major museum. By the way, when I interviewed style iconoclast Iris Apfel for our Masters of Fashion series, a woman who embodies the natural connection between fashion and home decor, and it is precisely this connection that was at the heart of the interview. She credited Dorothy Draper with truly jump-starting the interior design business, Old World Weavers, which she founded with her husband, Carl. As she recounted, quote, our first big order came with one of the icons of the industry, Dorothy Draper. And speaking of Iris Apfel, she was among the chic contingent who paid homage to Ralph Rucci last Thursday evening by wearing Ralph Rucci, though, of course, nobody puts it together quite like Miss Apfel, who wore Ralph's camel silk shantung jacket with embroidered Roberto Cavalli jeans, red satin slippers, bold hand-painted wood cuffs, an American Indian turquoise necklace, and a red cashmere throw, and of course her red owl-sized glasses. The occasion for the cocktail reception which was hosted by Charlotte Moss at her beautiful Eastside townhouse, and the Couture Council of the Museum of FIT, was to honor the couturier who will be receiving the Couture Council's first annual award in recognition of his contributions to the artistry in fashion, according to Dr. Valerie Steele. The award will be given at a luncheon on October 17th. Almost no fashion designer personifies the convergence of fashion, art, and architecture so brilliantly and consistently as Ralph Rucci, who happens to be an accomplished painter and sculptor himself. In fact, 66 of his expressionist, minimalist, and often overscaled and Asian-inspired pieces were on display almost a year ago at the famed Serge Sirocco Gallery in San Francisco. The exhibition, which was called Ralph Rucci, Recent Paintings and Works on Paper, was also notable in that it marked the first formal gallery show of the designer's artwork. Decades after Schiaparelli collaborated with Salvador Dali, and Yves Saint Laurent was inspired by Pierre Mondrian's bold abstract paintings, fashion designers continue their fascination with art and artists. For fall 2006, the modern paintings of Rothko inspired Vera Wang and Proenza Schuler, and the latter of which were also inspired by the work of Cy Twombly, who has long been an inspiration for Ralph Rucci and continued to be for this season as well. And on that note, I'll see you next time.